in today's video we are going to be reviewing none other than Mitchell's versus the Machines. This is a Netflix film, and simply put, like always, I was bored one night, not tired enough to go to bed, but, you know, wanting to go to bed, wanting to watch something, and that's when I click on Netflix. Now, Netflix, you either get something good or you get something bad, and yeah, I saw the trailer for this movie, and let me tell you, when I first saw the trailer, I thought, okay, this looks cute. I mean, I'm expecting it to be very, very childish, very, very little, lot of fart and poop jokes, you know, that sort of thing. And granted, there is that type of sophisticated humor in this movie as well. But I'm actually shocked at how much I actually enjoyed this movie. Hello guys, and welcome back. Welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies. And the reason why I say that I actually enjoyed this movie basically comes down to what the actual premise of this movie is. So yeah, at face value, it's about this family going against this phone, trying to defeat these robots that are trying to take over the world. But the real premise of this movie, the main story, really has nothing to do with the robots. At face value, it does. But what this movie really is about family. That is right. We are talking about Mitchell's versus the Machines. Another Netflix film. And here's the thing about Netflix. When it comes to me, it's always late at night. It's always when I want to watch something, but I don't know what to watch. It's always just before bed. And when it comes to Netflix, you're either going to find something fantastic or you're going to find something terrible. I'm glad to say that this ended up being actually one of the best Netflix films I've seen in a long, long time. If I had to look back on my favorite Netflix films, I think my number one would be actually Klaus. I love Klaus. My number two, I think, would be Mitchell's versus the Machines. And then I really love Over the Moon. But Wishing Dragons were really good too. Wish Dragon, that was a really good movie as well. So Netflix does have some really good kids movies, and I really actually enjoyed this film. Now, granted, when I first saw the trailer for this movie a while back, I saw it, I put it on my list, thought, you know what, one day if I'm bored, I'll watch it, and that's exactly what I do. One day when I was bored, I eventually watched it, and ended up actually loving it. So, yeah, what this story is about is actually, I'm a sucker for family stories. I really am. And this ends up being one of the best family movies I've seen in a long, long time. Now, when I first saw the trailer, I thought this movie was just gonna be, you know, really childish jokes, fart humor, and poop jokes and all that. And granted, yes, that sophisticated humor is within this movie. It's for kids, you know. I used to laugh at that stuff too, so it's not like, I'm not saying I'm all over that, but I kinda am, but you know what I mean. It's there for the little kids. You gotta expect that when you're watching these kind of films. But I'm really actually surprised at what this movie ended up being about. face value, it's about, you know, the Mitchells versus this cell phone that's trying to take over the world using robots. Mitchells versus the machines. But what this movie actually comes down to being about is none of that. This movie really comes down to being about family. And that's probably the greatest thing about this movie. So what is it? So it's about this character named Katie, and she is grown up, she's going to college, she's really into making movies, making short films, and she wants to, of course, you know, go off and do something with herself, do something with her life, and make friends and find her own people sort of thing. You know, she's a college girl now. And then we have her dad. Her dad, you know, is a little bit set in the older ways. I mean, I really also like the modern humor of them, you know, never being able to put their phone down at dinner. That was hilarious. That was great. But, you know, he's set in his own ways, and he wants what's best for his daughter. But, you know, because of that, it seems like he doesn't have faith in her capabilities as a movie maker. But the thing is, he just wants what's best for his daughter. He really does, and that's what's great. He never comes off as a major jerk in this film, and that's really hard to do. And that's something I really liked about this movie, is he never comes off as a jerk. He really does come off as someone who really cares about his family. And why it really has to do with the backstory we learn about him. Eventually we learn later on in the movie that when he was growing up, he wanted to build a cabin and live with his family in the woods. He built a cabin. He was a great craftsman, and you know, he had to let that go. He had to let that go because he had a daughter and he had to support his family, and he wants her to, you know, not necessarily give up her dreams, but he wants her to find something to support herself and make money off of. And he was never really able to make money off his dreams, so he doesn't think she'll be able to make money off hers. And it kind of seems like he doesn't believe in her, but he does. It's just difficult. And I really liked that lesson on both sides. On both sides. That is fantastic to learn in today's worlds about dreams and whether reality can actually set in. I really enjoyed the family kind of dynamic they had there, which was great. Aaron, which is Katie's little brother, is, you know, his sister is growing out of college. He's a little worried about making friends. He's kind of weird. He's kind of a nerd. He's really into dinosaurs. I'm really into dinosaurs too, kids. So actually, I think Aaron was my favorite character in the movie, just because of his dinosaur fascination, to be honest with you. But they're all a little quirky, and so is he. And I enjoyed every single character. Now the mom's your typical, stereotypical mom. And that's, yeah, you think that comes off like a bad thing, but no, she's your stereotypical mom. You mess with those kids of hers, and she's gonna go completely ape on you. Oh boy, I love that moment. I love that moment when Aaron gets captured by the robots and she goes ninja crazy on them. Oh man, I loved her. That was fantastic. That was great. Yeah, and it just ended up being a pretty good film. It really ended up being a pretty good film. Mostly not because of the robots, but because of, you know, the Mitchell family themselves. The Mitchell families is what this movie is about, and I really enjoyed that. But what is the main, you know, on the surface story about? So you got this creator that, you know, makes cell phones, and he makes these little robots. Well, the phone was a little, you know, angry that she just got tossed into the trash. So she took control of all the robots and decide to go and rule the world, obviously. A little bit crazy, but alright. And anything with that cell phone chip of hers, she can control. So that means dishwashers, microwaves, for some reason a tennis rack, it all has these microchips in it and are going after the Mitchells in one scene. That was really fun at the mall. Eventually, they also take control. They damage these two robots and are able to take control of them, and they're able to make their own choices, and they choose to help the Mitchells out and tell them how to defeat her, and it comes down to them basically uploading a virus that will stop the microchips. And yeah, it's one of those movies. It's a fun ride though. It's a really great movie. I loved the stuff at face value, but what it really was about was the family, and I enjoyed the family aspect of this movie the most. By the way, yes, I get it. The dog is absolutely adorable. I could have done with one less fart joke from the dog though. Just me. But let me know down in the comments below your thoughts about Mitchells versus the Machines. Did you like this movie? Did you watch this movie? Are you going to give this movie a chance now that you've seen this review? Thank you guys for watching, and for now, I am out.